It may surprise some longtime viewers of this channel to hear that I recently went out and bought, with my own money, a battery-powered string trimmer, given my history of small engine repair. But I'm getting older, and I've been having some tendinitis issues in my arms, which I'm not sure if they're directly caused by vibration, but they're certainly exacerbated by it. And I decided to go out and get something that was just a little bit easier to use. Now these days, basically every power tool and outdoor tool company is making a version of this tool, and that is a cordless electric shaft drive trimmer. And what I mean by that is that it's designed very much like a conventional gas-powered string trimmer. There's a motor unit up here which drives a drive shaft down the length of this shaft, which then turns a gearbox at the bottom, which turns the cutter head. The reason I wanted a shaft drive trimmer is because, in my opinion, the weight distribution of these is better than the other style of electric trimmer, where the electric motor is at the end of the shaft and directly drives the cutter head. It's very similar to the weight distribution of a gas trimmer. Now, speaking of gas trimmers, I'll introduce the trimmer that the Ryobi is not exactly replacing, but replacing in some use cases. This is my tried and true old reliable Stihl FS80R. I'm not sure how old it is. I think it's maybe from the mid 1990s, and this thing is a beast. As a matter of fact, to call this a trimmer is kind of selling it a little bit short. It does have a string head on it, obviously, but I also have a clearing saw for this, a pole saw. It can run an edger or rototiller or a bunch of other attachments. But all that power comes at the cost of, this thing is incredibly heavy and it vibrates like the dickens. So for normal sort of grass trimming tasks just around my property, I think this thing might be a little bit overkill. Now, like I said, basically every power tool company and every yard tool company is making something similar to this these days. And before I bought the Ryobi unit, I probably looked at least a dozen different brands. And the one thing that I noticed that really set the cheap units apart from the more expensive units is this right here. This is the cutter head. Now, even long before electric trimmers were even something you could buy, this has been true. The cheaper gas-powered trimmers always had worse cutter head designs than the more expensive units. Either the spool head was really difficult to load, or the gearbox was at like an angle that made it really hard to use. Actually, there used to be trimmers that didn't even have a gearbox. They had a curved shaft, and there was just like a drive cable that bent inside that shaft, and those things were incredibly difficult to use. Or the guard was a weird design, it doesn't cut the string well, all these things. And that really hasn't changed. The main reason it hasn't changed is because, at least in the case of this Ryobi, they've been using this design since then. Yeah, actually one of the things that makes the Ryobi unit kind of cool is it's backwards compatible with all of the different attachments that Ryobi has been making since the 1990s. I'm not probably going to buy any of those, but it's a nice thing to be able to do. Okay, let's talk about cutter heads for a second and why I think the cutter head on the Ryobi trimmer is not very good. The first reason is that if you'll notice, between the Stihl and the Ryobi, the string comes out way at the top of the spool head on the Ryobi. This means that the string is always like half an inch to an inch above what you're trying to cut. In order to compensate for this, you always have to keep turning the cutter head like this in order to make it contact the grass. This means that you can't really cut like a nice flat cut. You always sort of end up divoting the grass, and this drives me insane. If you compare it to the Stihl, the string comes out maybe about a half an inch from the bottom of the cutter head. So when you just float this against the ground, it's always cutting a perfectly like flat cut as you just slide the head back and forth. This head delivers a fantastic cut quality for trimming grass. This one delivers a terrible cut quality, full of like divots and dents. The other thing I don't like about this head is I think this whole assembly is too long. If you notice on the Stihl head, it is super compact. This head assembly being this long just makes it awkward to use. It's hard to explain unless you've actually used this machine, but it is just annoying to use. It's tricky to get the head in and around things. And like I said before, the string being up high means that you have to turn it at these weird angles to edge. It sucks. Another thing I don't like about it is I do not like this cutter guard design with this blade and this piece here. it's really high up the shaft, which means it doesn't do a very good job of stopping debris from spewing out. If you notice on the Stihl, the guard is right at the bottom, and it's also like pretty deep. So all of the debris that gets kicked up by the head gets caught by the guard and deflected down towards the bottom. And actually on the Stihl, I think mine is missing it. It should have another piece that goes down even further to stop debris from hitting the ground. This machine just covers me in grass and bits of material every time I use it. It's really annoying. Now, even after all this criticism, I don't really blame Ryobi. It costs a lot of money to design a good cutter head, and the Ryobi is really cheap. I'm not a tool brand loyalist by any means, but Ryobi is absolutely killing it in the value department. This entire trimmer without the battery was like $120. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. So I spent some time trying to figure out if there was any way to improve the cutter head design on the Ryobi. And I took some measurements of this shaft and the drive cable inside and some other things, and what I discovered might surprise you. The Stihl trimmers and the Ryobi trimmers have the exact same shaft and drive cable size. So I just went out and bought a cutter head for a Stihl, and I'm going to put it on the Ryobi. Except I didn't buy a cutter head for a Stihl. I bought a Chinese knockoff of a cutter head for a Stihl. And because of some sort of magical combination of offshore manufacturing and global trade, this entire unit, complete with string in the string head, was delivered to my house for less than $50. It's not the best fake I've ever seen, but it's pretty darn good. It's got the European style guard on it, which will definitely make it nice to use. And yeah, the string head even came with string. The gearbox is full of grease. It came with all the necessary hardware and fasteners. So let's put it on. So to remove the cutter head from the Ryobi is pretty straightforward. There's a pair of 10mm bolts here, and then there's also an 8mm bolt here that you have to take out to remove this guard bracket. Okay, now we can just go ahead and pull the head off the shaft. There we go. Now we can install our totally legit Stihl cutter head. We want to make sure that this drive cable plugs in. So just try to turn the head and make sure you can feel the cable turning in the tube. Feels pretty well attached. The Stihl head is then tightened down to the shaft using two 4mm hex screws. And if you didn't believe me, let's go cut some grass. I never realized how difficult it was to film cutting grass with a string trimmer in order to show efficacy until I just tried to film using this machine now. But you'll have to take my word for how well it cuts. In addition to just cutting grass well, I think the biggest benefit of this head upgrade is how much more natural the position you hold the trimmer at is when you're using it. Seriously, holding this at the much more natural angle where you're not like twisting your shoulder just makes it so much less fatiguing to operate. And obviously with the added benefit, it cuts grass like a Stihl now. As you can see, hopefully you can see, the grass does not have a bunch of weird divots and dents in it because the head floats nicely over the surface of the yard. Another bonus is, check out that guard. Look at how much grass that caught. I mean, there's grass on my shoes and on my pant legs, but I'm not covered head to toe in debris like I am when normally using this Ryobi trimmer. But really, I think you might be hard-pressed to find anything that cuts this well for this little money. You know, this conglomeration of junk basically cuts as well as my gas-powered Stihl trimmer, which cuts as well as an electric Stihl trimmer. And look up how much those cost. I'll tell you, it's a heck of a lot more than the cost of this $120 trimmer and the $50 cutter head. All right, well, I've got a lot of grass to cut, so I'm going to talk to you all later. But I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please tell me if you've done this similar swap on a different machine. I'd love to hear if anybody has the 40-volt version of this tool, how it runs the Stihl cutter head, or if you have any other ideas on how to improve the performance of one of these electric weed whackers. This is the first one I've ever owned, so I hope you got a kick out of this, and I hope it saves you some money. All right, talk to you later.